All right, I think let's start. So we already covered the we covered last class about like unit conversion, and we tried to do a few examples, how to convert one unit to another, and so on and so forth. So from there, let's go ahead and then let's proceed and let's try to see a few more examples. So I want you to do the following. Like for instance, I want you to convert the following. So example, please convert 32. Not 32. I would go with 36 kilometer into its equivalent in meters. So how many meters do you have in a 36 kilometer let's say distance or something? I want you to also convert like how many centimeters do you have in 20 millimeters? How many centimeters do you have? So you already know that, like what kilo mean, what milli mean. So how many centimeters do you have? Yeah, go ahead and then give it like a couple of minutes of thought, and all right, and then excellent. Yeah. Any other opinion? So when you do unit conversions, then I usually prefer to try to do it like a step by step, especially with something that I can remember or something that I know. Like for instance, if I'm trying to convert like 36 kilometers to its equivalent in meter, the first thing that I would do is, I'll try to find a way to eliminate the kilometer part, right? And then eliminate the kilometer part and then replace it by meter part. Okay. So if you have seen like the slides and what we covered in the previous class, then something that you will remember is like what do you have like in like what does a kilo mean? So a kilo means it means like in 1 kilo, what do you have is like 10 the power of 3. Okay, so 10 the power of 3 means what does 10 the power of 3 normally mean? So 10 the power of 3 means 1,000, right? So therefore what you will have is like 36 kilometer multiplied by, of course, that is 1,000 meter divided by, of course, by per 1 kilometer, and then this kilometer eliminates with that kilometer, then that 36 times 1,000 is going to be 36,000 kilometers. Okay, so you have 36,000 kilometers in 36,000 meter actually. Okay, in 36 kilometers. Okay, so that's how you will proceed to do it. Like for instance, and then the second question, what I gave you is like how many centimeters do you have in 20 millimeter? Okay, so probably we wouldn't have a direct conversion from millimeter to centimeter, but what you can do is like you can take a step-by-step approach for that. Like so the question that I asked you was like how many centimeters do you have in 20 millimeters? What you know is milli. The prefix milli means 10 the power of negative 3, and you know that centi mean 10 the power of -2, right? So you have those ideas. So now you can use that, and then you can relate those values, and especially, you know, like as a beginner, you will not be understanding like a direct conversion. Like if you already have experience in terms of like converting values like this, then it's going to be really very straightforward, and then you can easily do it. But the question is like, what if you haven't done something before? What if you don't know like anything about unit conversion before? But now you already have a guidance, something that I mentioned in the previous classes. Like there are the most commonly used kind of prefixes that I want you to remember: the millis, the centis, the kilo, the micro. Sometimes giga is good too. So pretty much those are the most commonly used ones, like in most sciences. Okay, so now what you know is, like as I told you, if you don't know anything how to convert from millimeter to centimeter directly, what you can do is, but you already know, you can eliminate the milli, because milli, you already know what milli mean. Okay, so you already know what a milli stand for. In general, like in a milli, it means like, you know, like for instance, if you have milli, right, it means 10 to the power of -3. Okay, you can replace that milli by 10 to the power of 3 if you want, -3 actually. Okay, so now you can do that, and then that's going to lead you to the conversion to the meter factor, and then from there you can proceed. And this milli, if milli is 10 to the power of -3, then in terms of meter, it's going to be the other way around if you want to. Like it means, of course, a milli means 10 to the power of -3 of the meter in every millimeter, because we are trying to eliminate the milli part, right? So you eliminate that, you eliminate that. So you have 10 to the power of -3 meter. But also now, our mission is not done here, because we want to eliminate the meter part. Okay, we want to eliminate the meter part and replace it by the centi. We want to replace that by the centi part. Okay, so what you can do is, like, what we know about centi is 10 to the power of -2, or you will proceed the other way around. Like in every meter, you are going to have 100 centimeter. That kind of conversion will come in a later experience. But in general, like what you can do is, like, instead of having that centi, but I want to keep the centi, and then I want to eliminate the meter. So you can do both ways. Like you can say in centi means 10 to the power of -2. In other words, in 1 meter, I'm going to have 100 centimeter. Why? Because 10 to the power of -2, okay, means 0.01. But that, when it's converted to meter side, you're going to have is like that. So now the meter can be eliminated by the meter, and then if you multiply all those numbers, plugging them in your calculator, so what you're going to get is, it's going to be centimeter. Okay, so because you already converted the millimeter and you erased it, you have the meter, and then the meter is eliminated, and then now finally you have that centimeter thing. Or you can approach the problem like probably the other way around. I'm going to show you like pretty much the same approach. Like, so you have 20 millimeter. What you can do is, what you know is, you want to eliminate the millimeter and have the meter. Then in every meter, you have 1000 millimeters. Then you eliminate the meter, and then you have the meter still. But our final mission is to convert this to centimeters. So therefore, we need to replace eliminate this meter and then have it in centimeters. To do that, what you will do is you need to have a meter here so that you can eliminate this meter by this meter. But we know that in every meter we have 100 centimeter. Okay, so if you do this, 20 times 1000 is going to be 2000 centimeter divided by 1000, right? How do I get that? 20 times 1 times 100 is 3000. I mean 2000. Divide that by 1000, this 1000, right? Then you get that. So then the final answer will be 2 centimeters. Okay, excellent, very good. So yeah, I saw like students already answered that. Excellent, very good. Yes, okay. So that's how you're going to proceed. I mean, the more you practice, the more you will understand those things. And the other thing is, like, when you see 10 to the power of negative 2, 10 to the power of negative 3, about those conversions, it doesn't mean anything. Otherwise, like, if you struggle to plug in it in your calculator, 10 to the power of negative 3 means 3 decimal places. Like, for instance, if you have never used your scientific calculator before, and then if you have like something that says 10 to the power of negative 3, and then you may wonder, like, how am I going to put this in your calculator? What you can do is, like, 10 to the power of 3 means like 3 decimal places. Okay, like this. That means you move the decimal place from here 1, 2, 3 places. That's what it means. If it is 10 to the power of 3, it means add or move the decimal place forward by 3. It means like 1, 2, 3 in this direction, whereas in this one you moved it like in the opposite direction. Okay, that's the only difference that you have. Otherwise, everything is pretty much similar. So now let's move a little. Let's make this one. Let's challenge ourselves to a better example. So this is going to be our example 3, and then now I want you to convert. Let's say 36 kilometer over hour. That means per hour in 1 hour. So now you have a combination of units. It's not only one, okay? Into meter per second. Okay. So I want you to do this. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Then my timer is starting now. You have 2 minutes to try. It's just like just give it a try. Yes, meter per second. Okay. So you need to convert the kilometer part to meter, and then the hour part to seconds. Anyone else? Very good. Excellent. Yeah, that's it. That's good. Okay. So per means like over, like, you know, it's like it means like you have in every hour how much distance did you travel. That's what it means. I mean, so the procedure is going to be the same approach you're going to use in terms of trying to solve the problem. Okay, so what you will do is, now you have that 36 part, and then first eliminate that kilometer part and then replace it by meter. So what you will do is, you have 36 and, you know, kilometer over an hour, you know, over 1 hour. That's what it means. Per hour means. Then eliminate the kilometer. Then to do that and replace it by meter, what you will do is eliminate the kilometer. To have it like that, you put it there and here. Okay, but you know that in every kilometer what you have is 10 to the power of 3, in other words 1,000 meter. Okay, then this will take care of the kilometer part. Okay, and then but the hour needs to be converted to seconds. So sometimes, like, if you don't know by heart to convert from hour to seconds, then what you can do is, you know, take it step by step. There is something that you already know. So since the hour is down here as a denominator, then something that will eliminate it has to come here, up in the numerator. Okay, and then something that you know is, for instance, let's say you don't remember how many seconds you have in 1 hour, but you know that by heart. In every hour you have 60 minutes, right? Okay, so therefore this will take care of like the hour part. Then now the minute, our final answer is not there yet. Why? Because that mini part, right? That minute part has to be eliminated and then has to be replaced by seconds. So to do that, what will you do? Then the minute has to come here, and then the second has to come down here. Then in every minute, what you know is, you know by heart you have 60 seconds. So therefore, you know, this minute will cancel out with this minute, and then you have that 60. So 36 times 1,000 times 1 times 1, that will be 36,000. And the only unit that you are left with in the numerator is meter. You divide that by 1 times 1 times 60 times 60, that is 3,600 or 3,600 seconds. Right? So this is S represents seconds. Okay, guys. So now if you eliminate this, what you will have is 10 meter per second. All right. Okay. So that's how you find the combination of unit conversions. Okay. It's pretty straightforward. Sometimes I would say. You know, if you practice, of course. Then maybe let's go ahead and then probably one more example. So another example. So how many centimeter cubed do you have in 1 meter cubed? So instead of like, you already know like how many centimeters you have in 1 meter. That's pretty much straightforward. Like centi is 10 to the power of -2. So sometimes, like, what you can also see is like which one is a larger unit? Is meter larger than a centimeter? Yes, it is. So therefore, when you do your unit conversions, try to remember that like that centi is a smaller value. Okay. So therefore, the meter has to be a larger value. So your answer somehow, like in this particular case, should be like more than one, right? Very good. Excellent. All right. So now let me take you back, and now here when you see a power like in a unit, like for instance meter square, meter cubed, and so on and so forth, something that you need to remember is like that meter cubed means meter times meter times meter. That's what it means. So therefore, then you do not only have like 1 meter in that calculation. You need to make multiple multiplications like to accommodate the cubes. Okay, so therefore, in general, like when you have 1 meter, meter cubed means you have 1 meter times 1 meter times 1 meter. That's what it means, literally. Okay, and we learned that, or in the unit conversion, we know that like in every meter you have 100 centimeters. So therefore you'll have 100 centimeter, but you don't stop here, because this meter will help with this centimeter, and then multiply that by 100 centimeter again. This 100 centimeter is for this meter. Okay, I'm going to use a star for this guy too. And then you need to have a third one, which is 100 centimeter again. That one is for this one. I'm going to circle it here, then I'm going to circle it here too. Did you get the point? So like you have 3 meters multiplied to each other to form 1 meter cubed. Then for every meter, then it has its own corresponding centimeter equivalent. So as a result, like meter times meter times meter, to get that you need to go through centimeter times centimeter times centimeter. Then as a result, this 1 meter cubed is going to be equal to 100 times 100 times 100 is going to be how many zeros? 2 zeros plus 2 zeros plus 2 zeros. That will be 6 zeros. Yep, very good. Excellent. So what this means is like this. So you have 1 million centimeter cubed. If you want, you can use a scientific notation, and you can do 1 times 10 the power of 6 centimeter cubed. Okay, so you proceed like that. So it's not really as bad as like we think. It's just always like a matter of following the rules. But what if like we take that same example, we take it like little to the extreme, not to the extreme, rather, just like what if we try to do something the other way around? You have 1 centimeter cubed, and then how many meter cubed do you have in there? So it's pretty much the same way as we did it, but now what we are trying to do is you have 1 centimeter multiplied by 1 centimeter multiplied by 1 centimeter. That's what it means. But we know that in every centi, even in the word centi, what do you have? 10 to the power of minus 2. Okay, so what we did is like this centi, the term centi, is literally being replaced by 10 to the power of negative 2 from your table, right? Then you have, for the other one, you have 1 times 10 to the power of negative 2. It's for the second centi part, and then you have 1 times 10 to the power of negative 2 for the third centi. So if you go ahead and multiply all those ones, if you want, you can plug in them in your calculators. Sometimes, like, what is this normally? Like, what if I cannot put it in my calculator? I mentioned earlier, like, 10 to the power of negative 2 means 2 decimal places. You go back 2 decimal places. Negative means like you move the decimal place twice in this direction. That's what it means. Alright? So therefore, you multiply this, then 1 centimeter cubed is going to be 0.0000, because how many times you need to move it? 2 times here, 2 times for this, 2 times for this. In general, you have to move the decimal place 6 points backward to get the meter cubed. Or, in other words, what does this mean? It means probably in terms of power. How do you put it? As we said it, like if we move forward, it's a positive power. If we move backward, it's a negative power. So therefore, negative 6 in this particular case, then negative 6 meter cubed. Okay. All right. So you can go back and forth in the video and then try to see like what we have been trying to do in terms of unit conversion. Pretty much, at the general physics course, like if you know how to convert this, probably we're going to convert one that's very commonly used in the science. I mean, in general, they're in chemistry or in biology. That's one unit conversion. That's we call it density. For now, probably if you don't know the term, it's okay. I'll just simply ask you the unit conversion. Okay. So I want you to convert 1 gram per centimeter cubed. Okay, you already know how to convert from centimeter to cube to meter cube, so therefore it shouldn't be a problem. I want you to convert that to its equivalent to kilogram per meter cubed. Okay, so what is that value? You'll have a couple of minutes. I'm giving you a couple of minutes and then do it. So when I give you like a couple of minutes, make sure that like you try to do it on a paper, okay? Very good. Okay. So now let's proceed. So you have 1 gram for every per centimeter cube. Per centimeter cube means like over a centimeter cube or over 1 centimeter cube. That's what it means. Okay. So therefore, now our idea is to replace the gram by a kilogram, as we always do. So therefore, we need to have the kilogram up here and eliminate the gram part down here. Okay. So we know the conversion from a kilogram to a gram is 1000 because of that kilo thingy. Okay. So 1 kilogram is 1000 times a gram. Okay, because of the kilo is more than the gram by itself. So therefore, then the gram will eliminate the gram part, and then of course you will have is like you need to replace the centimeter cube by meter cube. So therefore, you need to have a centimeter cubed here and replace it by meter cubed. So we already did a conversion between those two. For 1 meter cube, you already have a million or 10 to the power of 6 centimeter cube. This is the example that we just did. Or you can do this the other way around. Like for 1 centimeter cube, you have for 1 centimeter cube, you have a 10 to the power of negative 6 meter cube. Whichever way you want. Like you can either use this for 1 centimeter cubed. This is 1 centimeter cubed. For 1 centimeter cubed, you have that 10 to the power of negative 6, or the other way around. 1 meter cubed equals 10 to the power of 6. 10 to the power of 6 means, this is what I'm referring to. This means 1000. Okay. So, having said that, like I just showed that one, then the centimeter cubed will eliminate. The centimeter cubed will be eliminated by this centimeter cube. So what you will have is 1 times a million divided by 1000. That will be 1000, right? So therefore you will have 1 gram per centimeter cubed is going to be equal to 1000 kilogram per meter cube. Where did I get the kilogram? Here is what I have. And the meter cubed, here is what I have. The 2 units that I'm left with are those. So therefore, this is how you do the whole unit conversion thing. Then that's pretty much, I think, enough number of examples that we have done today. Then we're going to proceed more